Okay, number 62. The greatest common factor, or GCF, of 22, 15, and 7 is... So what we're looking here is the greatest common factor, or GCF. GCF is the largest number or largest divisor of the numbers listed in the stem. So we have 22, 15, and 7. So ang hahanapin lang natin sa mga options ay yung number yung pinakamalaking number na pwedeng makadivide sa 22, 15, and 7. So alin kaya dito sa apat ang pwedeng maging divisor ng 22, 15, and 7? The answer is, yes, correct. Letter A, number 1 only, because letter B, 3, cannot divide 3. You cannot divide 20 to 15 and 7 by 3, although 15 is divisible by 3, but other numbers as well, 2 and 4, cannot be used as divisor for 22, 15, and 7. So, only number 1, yung 1 lang makadivide sa 22, 15, and 7 sa kanilang tatlo. Okay? So, ganun lang kapag ang tanong is GCF, ang gagawin nyo lang is yung mga options, gamitin nyo silang divisor ng mga numbers na nasa stem katulad ng 22, 15, and 7. Number 63. How many prime numbers are there between 1 and 100? So, ilang prime numbers daw ang meron between 1 at saka 100? Ilan kaya? Ang sagot ay, yes, there are 25 prime numbers between 1 and 100. Ulit, ang ibig sabihin ng prime numbers, these are numbers na ang factors lang ay 1 at saka itself. Or yung pwedeng makadivide lang sa kanya ay yung number 1 at saka ang kanyang sarili. Okay, so there are 25 prime numbers all in all between 1 and 100. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 nakalista nandito. Pero paano mo malalaman natin kung isang number prime or hindi? What if malaki na yung number? Kasi yung mga maliliit na number katulad ng 2, ng 3, ng 5, we know that they are prime numbers because they are small numbers lang. But what if malaki na yung numbers and you are not sure? And sometimes may mga tanong din sa Gen Ed before na ang tanong is, what is the largest prime number before, let's say, a certain number? So, ang gagawin nyo lang is, remember these criteria. Ito yung mga criteria natin. Ito yung parang basehan natin at masasabi natin na ang number ay hindi isang prime number. Again, ang hindi prime number, ang tawag sa kanya is composite number. So, paano malalaman kung isang number ay hindi prime number? Una, all even numbers greater than 2 are not prime numbers. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga number na mas malaki pa sa 2 ay hindi prime number. Lahat ng even ha, so 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on, they are not prime numbers. Ang next one is 0, 5, and even endings. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng mag-e-end. Lahat ng mga numbers na mag-e-end sa 0, sa 5, at saka even number, they are not prime numbers. For example, 10, 15, 22, or 24, they are not prime numbers. And lastly, how about if tatlong digits na, for example, ganun, or dalawang digits and you are not sure whether or not prime siya. So, ang gagawin lang natin is, we add all the digits. So, if the sum of the numbers is divisible by 3, kung ang sum daw can be divided by 3, then the number is not a prime number. For example, think about this. Is 57 a prime number? 57, is that a prime number? Without looking sa listahan natin, we know that 57 is not an even number, and 57 does not end in 0 or 5 or an even number. So in order to tell, if you're not sure, so all we have to do is add all the digits. 5 plus 7, di ba? May dalawang digits sa 57. 5 plus 7 is 12. Tapos, Is 12 divisible by 3? Yes or no? Yes, di ba? So since divisible by 3 ang sum ng 57, yung digits ng 57, therefore 57 is not a prime number. Kaya nga wala siya sa listahan natin. So we jump from 53 to 59, di ba? Kasi 57 is not a prime number. So please remember the three criteria. This will tell us whether or not a number is prime. Okay, number 64. A Toyota car traveling at a rate of 70 kilometers per hour leaves the house 2 hours after a Kia car has left and overtakes it in 5 hours. At what rate was the Kia car traveling? So we have two cars here. We have Toyota car and we also have Kia car. And then what is asked here? The rate of the Kia car. Rate in this case, because this problem is a kind of speed problem, rate is speed. Because alam naman natin sa options of kilometers per hour ang unit. So we're looking for the speed of Kia. So may dalawang car daw. Si Toyota, ang speed ni Toyota ay 70 kilometers per hour. Tapos, si Kia naman, hindi natin alam yung speed ni Kia. Pero alam natin na si Kia ay nauna kay Toyota. Kia left 2 hours, di ba? Si Toyota left 2 hours after a Kia car has left. Tsaka na-overtaken niya ng 5 hours. This is a kind of overtaking problem. Let's just first reveal the answer. Answer ay 50 kilometers per hour, letter D. So, nauna si Kia, lumabas ng bahay si Kia, nauna si Kia, and then hinabol siya ni Toyota. Si Toyota left the house 2 hours after Kia has left. Tapos pagdating ng 5 hours, or 5 hours ang time when Toyota overtook o na-overtaken niya si Kia. So, ang hinahanap na natin is speed ni Kia. So remember, kapag overtaking ang problem, because this is a problem of overtaking, di ba? Sa overtaking na scenario, ang dalawang cars at the point of overtaking ay may parehas na distansya from the starting point. So si Kia at Toyota, nung naabutan ni Toyota si Kia, kasi nauna si Kia ng 2 hours, nung naabutan ni Toyota si Kia, parehas na sila ngayon ng distance from the beginning or from the starting point or from the house, kasi house ang sinabi kanina sa problem. Si Kia nauna ng 2 hours, hindi natin alam ang speed ni Kia. Alam natin ang speed ni Toyota kasi given sa problem, and sinabi sa problem, it took 5 hours for Kia or for Toyota to overtake Kia, di ba? So ang gagawin lang natin, since parehas sila ng distance from the beginning, pwede natin i-equate ang speed nila using the distance. Kasi equal ang kanilang distance. So we can write an equation na equal ang kanilang distance. So paano ba ginagawa yan? So ganito. Remember, this is a speed problem and an overtaking problem also. Di ba ang formula ng speed or rate is distance divided by time? So we can say that Toyota's covered distance is just equal to Kia's covered distance. Kasi nag-abot sila eh. Nung sa point of overtaking, parehas na sila ng distansya. Kaya pwede nating equate ang kanilang distance. Since speed is distance over time, ang gagawin lang natin is i-derive natin ang distance from this equation. Ano ibig sabihin ng derive? Gawin nating distance ang unknown. So, naging distance is equal to speed times time. So, from this formula, speed is equal to distance divided by time, naging distance is equal to speed times time. So, we can say, therefore, that yung speed times time pala ni Toyota is just equal sa speed times time ni Kia. Kasi nga, sabi natin kanina, ang distance ni Toyota from the start or from the starting point is just equal to Kia's covered distance from the start or from the starting point at the point of overtaking. So all we have to do now is substitute all the values na nasa problem for speed of Toyota, time ni Toyota, speed ni Kia, which is unknown, and time ni Kia, which is known. So, isa lang ang unknown dito, yung speed ni Kia. So, sabi sa problem, ang speed ni Toyota is 70 kilometers per hour. Ang sabi din sa problem, si Toyota, it took Toyota 5 hours to overtake Kia. So, 5 hours ang time at the point of overtaking. Since si Kia, ang speed ni Kia ang hinahanap, kaya unknown ang speed ni Kia pa yet. Tapos, ang time for Kia, sabi sa problem na una si Kia ng 2 hours. So, lamang si Kia ng 2 hours. Pero pagdating ng 5 hours, another 5 hours, yun ang ibig sabihin nun, naabutan na siya ni Toyota. So, all we have to do is add the 2 time for the speed of Kia. So, 2 plus 5, that's 7 hours. So, 7 hours para kay Kia. Para sa kotse na Kia, 7 hours na sa kanya ang lumipas since it left the house. Pero kay Toyota, 5 hours pa lang sa kanya since it left the house. So, ang gagawin lang natin is, imumultiply lang natin yung dalawa, 70 times 5, at saka ito, you can represent the unknown as any variable or pwede nang ganito, speed of Kia if hindi mo gustong gumamit ng mga variables. So, anong gagawin para ma-isolate ang speed of Kia kasi siya ang unknown? We just divide both sides by 7. Yes, correct. So, divide both sides by 7. 350 divided by 7, which is 350 over 7. And speed of Kia times 7 divided by 7. Since may 7 dito, tsaka divisor natin 7, mawawala si 7 kasi makakancel lang. So, what is left is speed of Kia na. So, 350 divided by 7 is 50 kilometers per hour. So, the next time na makakakita kayo na isang problem, tapos overtaking problem, ang important na point lang natin dito is that sa speed problem, tapos overtaking problem, ang distance ng dalawang car, always remember this, ang distance ng dalawang car from the starting point is the same when the overtaking occur. Nung nangyari ang overtaking, parehas lang ng distance ang dalawang car. Since distance ang wala, actually, diretso na kayo sa ganito. Speed times time ng isang car is equal to speed times time ng isang car. All you have to do is substitute all the values given in the STEM. Okay, next ay 65. The largest common factor of two or more numbers is called, ano daw ang tawag sa pinakamalaking common factor ng mga numbers? Of course, we call that as, yes, greatest common factor. Ito na yun, obvious na rin masyado. Largest, greatest common factor. Number 66. Factor 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. So, ifa-factor daw natin ang polynomial na to. Ang polynomial na to ay isang trinomial kasi may tatlong terms. Pag sinabing terms, so yung parang number or variable na pinaghihiwalay ng plus or minus na operation. So, we can say that this is the first term, 2x squared. The second term is 7x and the last term is 15. Tapos, trinomial to na quadratic. Ano bang ibig sabihin kapag sinabing quadratic? Masasabi natin o pwede natin tawagin quadratic ang isang polynomial kung ang highest exponent na makikita nyo ay number 2 or 2. In this case, 2x squared. May squared, di ba? So, this is quadratic. So, kapag nagpo-factor ng quadratic, usually may dalawang roots. Ano ba ibig sabihin dalawang roots? Dalawang factors. So, makikita natin sa mga options ang mga roots. So, we have eto, kailangan pa natin itong i-equate to 0 para makita ang isang root, pati na rin ito. Pero usually, mga factors ang tawag nito. So, may dalawang factors sa isang quadratic expression. This is the case of expression. Now, paano ba pino-factor to? Anong pinakamadali? Ang unang-unang yung gagawin nyo for mga quadratic na mga expressions, no? Ang gagawin lang una is tingnan yung last term. Ang tawag sa last term sa isang quadratic expression ay C. So this is A, yung numerical coefficient ng may squared na sign or squared na exponent. Tapos ito yung B, positive 7. Yung numerical coefficient ng x na walang exponent 2, meaning 1 ang exponent. At saka C, or constant, o yung number lang na walang variable. So this is C. Ang unang-unang gagawin, tingnan si C, or yung last na number. Yung number na walang variable. Negative 15. Tapos, titingnan nyo dito sa mga endings din ng mga factors natin. Imumultiply natin sila. So whichever pair will come up negative 15, most probably yun ang sagot. Halimbawa, negative 5 times positive 3, negative 15. Pero, sa kasamaang palad, negative 15 lahat ang answer. Kung makikita nyo, magandang pagkagawa ng options kasi na-uniform niya at na-uniform ng gumawa na hindi basta-bastang masosolve agad-agad just by looking. Kasi kadalasan, just by looking at the ending, malalaman mo na siya ang factors, siya ang sagot, sila ang mga factors. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Positive 5 times negative 3, negative 15. Positive 5 times negative 3, yun pa rin, same. So kapag ganun, di mo magagamit yun. Ang next na gagawin natin is yung process code. Let's reveal the answer muna kasi um, we will show the answer. Okay, so ang answer is the answer is letter B, x plus 5 to x minus 3. So, halimbawa, eto, hindi mo magagamit yung pagtanaw lang o ending. So, meron pang isa. Of course, ang tawag sa technique na to is in and out multiplication addition. Although you can use yung tinatawag na FOIL method, meaning i-multiply mo talaga isa-isa ang bawat mga numbers and variables here to come up with 2x. Pwedeng ganun. Pero pwede rin gamitin to. Mas madali ang in and out multiplication addition. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, nabanggit natin kanina na sa isang quadratic equation or expression, yung number na nasa gilid ng variable na may squared, yun ang A. Tapos yung number na sa gilid ng walang exponent or exponent 1 is B. Tapos yung walang variable C, katulad dito, 2, 7, at saka negative 15. For the in and out multiplication addition, magagamit natin to if A is greater than 1. Katulad ng eto, 2. Because 2 is greater than 1, so we can use in and out multiplication addition. So ang gagawin lang natin, yung inner numbers, which are 5 and 2, 5 and 2x, i-multiply natin at i-add natin ang kanilang mga products. So yung inner numbers, multiply first. Halimbawa, gawin nyo to sa lahat. Positive 5 times 2x, that's 10x. Positive sa outer numbers, x times negative 3, that's negative 3x. And then ang lastly gagawin is addition. So kaya tinawag na in and out kasi inner numbers first, then outer numbers next, then addition. So i-add natin yung mga products nila. 10 plus negative 3x is 7x. So 7x ang sagot. So 7x. So kung alin man sa apat na to ang magre-result sa 7x, 7x meaning yung etong nasa gitna, middle term. So siya ang sagot. For example, eto, nung trinay mo sa in and out multiplication addition, 7x ang answer. In short, letter B ang sagot. You can also use FOIL method. But I think FOIL method is longer than the in and out multiplication and addition. So whichever is the case, whichever na process ang mas madaling gamitin for you or sa inyo, then follow that process. Kung naanad mo sa isang process tapos madali lang for you, then do that. If nahihirapan ka, then you can follow mine. Or you can also use, kung mahirap sa inyo ng ganito, halimbawa may mahirapan kayo still pa rin sa in and out multiplication addition, meron tayong tinatawag na AC method. It's one of the ways sa pagpa-factor ng trinomial, quadratic. Sa AC method, i-identify lang natin first ang A, B, and C. Again, just like kanina sa dito sa ating pinakita, A is yung katabi ng x squared, B is yung x, katabi ng x, tsaka C yung walang variable. So, for example, let's identify yung A natin is 2, B is 7, and negative 15 ang C. Tinawag tong AC method because imumultiply si A, which is 2, at saka si C, which is 15. First, multiply A at saka 15. So, ang sagot, di ba, is 2 times negative 15 is 30. Ang sagot, negative 30. So, the product is negative 30. The next na gagawin is, if a factor natin si negative 30 such that the two factors will add up to B, which is 7. Ang ibig sabihin nito, maghahanap tayo ng dalawang numbers na pag i-multiply magiging 30, pero pag i-add magiging positive 7. So what are the two numbers? Diba 10 and negative 3? Kasi pag multiply 10 times negative 3, negative 30 ang sagot. Pero pag i-add lang natin itong dalawa, positive 7 ang sagot. So ang ating factor is negative 30. And lastly, actually 3 steps lang to. Kung may fourth step man, simplification na lang yun. Sa third step is magsusulat tayo ng dalawang sets ng parentheses. So meaning, gagawa ka lang ng dalawang grupo ng parentheses. Sa loob ng parentheses, lagyan nyo ng X. Of course, X. Tapos, ang katabi ng X is your A. What is A again? 2. So, AX. So, this is 2X. Sulat ka muna ng 2X sa isang grupo ng parentheses at 2X din sa kabilang grupo. Now, ano ba yung i-pair natin sa mga 2X's natin? Ang i-pair is, makikita nyo yung sign nito, positive or negative, kasi it will depend sa atong mga factors kanina kasi may factor tayo na positive which is 10, may factor din tayo na negative which is negative 3. So, isusulat natin dito yung unang factor. Yung unang factor is yung 10 kasi ito yung unang number na or pwede rin negative 3. Pwede siya mag-interchange, doesn't matter. Isusulat na natin, i-pair up natin yung mga factors na naisip natin kanina tulad ng 10 at saka negative 3. Sa kabila, positive 10. Sa kabilang parenthesis, negative 3. So parang naging 2x, which is ax, di ba? Plus 10 for the first factor and 2x minus 3 for the second factor. So this is not yet the final answer kasi isi-simplify pa lang, isi-simplify natin to for the last step. Paano mo mag-simplify? I-divide lang natin ang mga numbers natin ng isang number na pwede maka-divide. Mag-iisip ka lang ng isang number that can divide both of the numbers na nasa parenthesis mo. May number ba na pwede maka-divide both sa 2 at saka 10? Yes, meron, di ba? And what is that number? 2, di ba? So, we can divide 2x by 2, tsaka yung positive 10 by 2. Dito sa kabila, 2n tsaka negative 3, wala naman, di ba? Kasi prime numbers naman tong dalawa. So, they're both prime numbers. Wala na yung pwede makadivide, kundi lang sarili lang at saka 1. Okay. Now, etong isang grupo lang ng parenthesis ang pwede natin masimplify. So, divided by 2, this is 2x divided by 2 is x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So, the final answer is x plus 5 when we simplify this group. Tapos sa kabilang group, kasi hindi naman to masimplify, just write them down. So, ang factors ay x plus 5, 2x minus 3. So, this is what we call the AC method. Kasi, multiply natin si AC, tapos yung product, nag-isip tayo ng dalawang factors na pag i-multiply, magiging product kanina, pag i-add, magiging gitnang number, which is 7. And then, nilagay lang natin sa dalawang grupo ng parentheses na may format na ax plus isang factor or minus isang factor. Gawa lang kayo ng dalawang ganun and then simplify. Number 67. The island of Luzon is estimated to be 100,000 square kilometers. In exponential form, it can be expressed as ang island ng Luzon daw ay 100 square kilometers. Paano siya express sa exponential form? So, ang sagot ay, yes, letter B, 10 raised to 5 or 10 to the 5th power. So, paano man naging 10 raised to 5? Because there are 5 zeros. Ganun lang man mag-express ng isang number into exponential form. So, in exponential form, that is 10 raised to 5. Kasi there are 5 zeros, di ba? Sa 100,000. And then, what if yung scientific notation natin siya, it's another format of exponential form. Pero meron tayong first number and then imumultiply natin sa exponential form ng 100,000. That's 1 times 10 raised to 5. This is the scientific notation for 68. Mr. Lazarte had incurred the following expenses in his trips to the Mindanao Islands: 3,200, 2,500, and 1,500. What percent of this total monthly budget, 40,000 pesos, did he spend for this trip? So si Mr. Lazarte daw, ang kanyang gastos nung nag-trip siya sa Mindanao ay 3,225 at saka 1,500. Now, may budget siya na 40,000. So, ang tanong lang is, ilang porsyento ang kanyang nagastos sa kanyang budget na 40,000? Ang sagot ay, yes, letter B, 18%. So, paano natin nakuha ang 18% sa letter B? So, ganito ang pagkuha niyan. Una, i-add up muna natin ang tatlong expenses o yung nagastos niya. We'll get the total. 3,2 plus 2,5 plus 1,5, that's 7,200. This is the total expenses. And then, ang gagawin lang since ang tanong is, what part of his monthly budget? Kapag ganun ang tanong, that is, percentage is part of 100 or part of a whole or part of a totality. Ang tanong lang is, 7,200 is what part of 40,000? I think 40,000 yun. Oh yes, 40,000 pesos. So, 7,200, i-divide lang natin by 40,000. Kung makukuha natin na value when we divide these two numbers kay in decimal form. So, para maging percentage, i-move lang natin ang decimal point to the right twice or we multiply by 100%. So, this is 0.18, di ba? Para maging percent, i-multiply lang by 100%. So, 18%. So, kapag tanong is, what part of a number is a number? What part of a number is another number? Kapag ganun yung klaseng tanungan, we simply divide the number, yung maliit na number, divided by malaking number. Kasi parte siya ng 40,000 or parte siya ng malaki na number, yung maliit. So, ganun ang percentage. Kasi percentage is part of 100. Next. In a university, the ratio of female professors to the male professors is 8:5. If there are male professors, how many are female professors? Before we answer this question, this is the actual printed question from the exam. So what is missing here? Because there is a missing number here. This is incomplete. Kulang to at hindi to basta-basta masasagutan. Kasi ang number 69, itong question na to is ratio and proportion. Remember kanina sa number 2 ata yun? Or sa number, around number 40 ata yun. Di ba may ratio and proportion doon kanina? Di ba sa ratio and proportion, may A, may B, A1, B1, A2, B2. So, para masagutan natin isang ratio and proportion na problem, kailangan may tatlong known numbers at saka isang unknown. But if you observe here sa 69, dalawa lang ang known, 8 at saka 5. So, missing yung isa. So, paano ba to? Dalawa ang missing. Supposedly, hindi natin ito masasagutan kung walang options. Pero since may option, we can answer it by working backwards. So, ang nangyari, pinahirapan pa tayo ng PRC kasi instead na magsusolve na lang tayo directly for the unknown, ang ginawa natin is determining two unknowns, di ba? Two unknowns sa isang question. Okay, before anything else, ang sagot ay hindi letter C. Automatically out of the question. Because this is fraction. Walang tao na fraction. Remember that? Kasi ang tanong is, how many are female? Hindi mo ka pwedeng ingon. Hindi ka pwedeng magsabi ng, there are 2/3 female. How many of you? Kung ang tanong is, discrete. Pilang mo kabok sa balay. Kung may 5 and 1/2 sa bahay. Ano yung 5 and 1/2? 5 at kalahating tao? No, hindi yun pwede. That's like in letter C. And that's why hindi siya ang sagot. So, it could be A, B, or D. Sana ma-answeran natin to agad-agad. kung kumpleto or tatlo yung unknown. Pero ang gagawin lang natin dito is we work backward. So ang sagot ay, sagot muna. Let's show the answer muna before we show paano siya gawin. So let's reveal the answer, letter B, 120. So paano tayo naka-arrive sa 120? By working backwards. So ang gagawin natin, kulang ng isang known ang word, ang stem, para ma-complete natin ang problem. Parang ganito yung problem mo, 8 is to 5 is equal to another, supposedly, may number ang male, wala sa female. Diba? Kasi female ang hinahanap. So, sa problem, wala. So, ang gagawin na lang natin, let's work backwards. Paano ba mag-work backwards? Remember yung pattern natin, A1 is to B1 is equal to A2 is to B2. Yun din ang gagamitin natin na paraan dito. First, itatry natin lahat ng options except for letter C kasi we know letter C is not the answer already. So, we try A, B, at saka T. Paano ba itatry? Isusulat lang 8 is to 5 is equal, tapos isusulat sa rightmost o sa dulo yung option. Hindi sa dulo, sa gitna yung option. Kasi sa dulo yung sagot, Sa dulo yung sagot, tapos yung option dito. Di ba ang option natin kanina, balikan natin. 180, 120, 225. So, 180, 120, 225. Now, paano natin malalaman ang sagot? At paano natin makukuha yung sagot? So, ang ganito lang ang gagawin natin. I-multiply ang inner numbers, katulad ng 5 times 180, 5 times 120, 5 times 225. Ang sagot o yung product ng dalawa ay de-dividean natin ng 8. So, parang 5 times 180 divided by 8, 5 times 120 divided by 8, 5 times 375 divided by 8, at saka dito rin sa last. Or kung letter C, hindi natin sali to. Ito na. Na paano, saan isusulat yung sagot? Yung pag-divide sa 8. Dito sa dulo. Ito na yung sagot actually. So parang 180 times 5 divided by 8 is 112.5. 120 times 5 divided by 8 is 75. Saka 225 divided by 5. 225 times 5 divided by 8 is 140.6. Now, paano mag-decide kung alin dito yung tama? So, if napansin nyo, yung letter A may point, saka letter D may point. Pati na rin sa letter Z may point. Remember, again, walang tao na naka-point or naka-fraction. Kasi discrete yan na variable. Kapag tinanong kayo ulit, pilang mo kabuok sa balay, ilan kayo sa bahay? We are 3.5. No, hindi pwedeng ganun. 3.25, hindi ganun. Kasi walang tao na in decimal. Kasi discrete yan na information. That's why, ang pipiliin natin yung may whole number na answer, which is 75. So yun, dapat ang question may 75. Kasi ito yung missing na known supposedly. Dapat, if there are 75 male, dapat nandito yung 75. How many are female professors? So 120 yun. Okay, number 70. Simplify x squared minus y squared over x minus y. So, sisimplify natin ang expression na to. Again, kanina, if you remember, meron tayong shortcut, no? Kapag ang tanong simplify, tapos ang ipapasimplify sa atin is yung mga polynomial divided by another polynomial, yung mga polynomial na ipa-factor divided by another polynomial. Parang ganito na problem. Ang gagawin lang natin is mag-a-assign tayo ng values for x and y para mas dali. And then, isusolve muna natin yung nasa problem and then let's compare yung answer natin sa option. Halimbawa, as you can see here, may dalawang variables or letters. We have x and y, di ba? So, mag-aasan tayo ng number for x. Lahat ng x na makikita natin sa problem ay gawing 2 at lahat ng y na makikita sa problem ay gawing 3. So, dapat tandaan nyo kung mag-aasan kayo ng number for a letter, for a variable, dapat 2 ang pinakamaliit at saka next number is 3. So, halimbawa, eto, gawin natin 2 to. 2 raised to 2, 2 squared is 4, di ba? 4 minus 3 squared is 9. So, 4 minus 9 is negative. 4 minus 9 is negative 5, di ba? So, this is negative 5 ang numerator. Tandaan nyo lang muna ang numerator. This is negative 5. Tapos sa baba, 2, because this is x, 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So, sa taas is negative 5 divided by negative 1. So, kapag parehas na sign, dinivide natin, ang answer ay positive. So, negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. So, ang sagot natin sa problem, positive 5 nung nag-assign tayo. So, gagawin din natin yan sa mga options natin. Kung hanapin lang natin yung option na may sagot na positive 5. So, halimbawa, let's begin with letter A. 2, because x is 2, tapos y is 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 5. So, hindi siyang sagot. Whereas B, kung sa B tayo, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 5, di ba? So, B yung sagot kasi 2 plus 3, 5. Same lang sa sagot dito sa ating system. So, ang sagot natin is letter B. Kung i-try nyo sa letter C, negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. 3 minus 2 is positive 1 also. So, letter B lang ang magsasagot ng positive 5. So, pero kung in-algebra natin to, sa algebra, alam natin na ang numerator is 2 perfect squares, x squared and y squared. Tapos minus ang ginamit. So, we can use yung pamamaraan kanina na tinatawag na difference of 2 squares. So, sa difference of 2 squares, gawa lang tayo ng dalawang grupo ng parentheses. Tapos, parehas lang ng laman, plus lang isa, minus lang isa. So, ano ba yung isusulat? Square root ng x squared, which is x, square root ng y squared, which is y. Remember, square root, may isang number that kapag i-multiply natin sa kanyang sarili, lalabas si x squared. Or in this case, may isang letter na minultiply natin sa kanyang sarili, naging x squared, and that is x. Katulad din sa y. Sa baba, since hindi na to ma-factor kasi prime expression na to, so susulat lang siya. So, paano ba mag-decide ng sagot? Magka-cancel tayo ng parehas na mga expressions, x minus y at saka x minus y. So, what is left is x plus y. That's why letter B ang sagot. Number 71. Simplify x minus the group of 3 minus 4 plus 11 plus 8. So, kanina, we already tried yung PEMDAS, di ba? Yung order operation. Applicable to din sa number 71. So, ang sagot natin ay letter D. Bakit ganito? Bakit may negative 12 dito na sinulat natin? Kasi ito yung eksaktong sagot. In short, wala dito sa option ang tamang sagot. So, we only choose the nearest or closest in value sa negative 12, which is negative 20. So, paano natin sinolve to using PEMDAS? Using PEMDAS, remember na P comes first, di ba? Parenthesis, brackets, braces. So, 3 minus 4 plus 11 plus 8. Yung unahin muna natin ng 3 minus 4 and then i-add sa 11 and then i-add sa 8. We got 18. Tatanggalin natin ang bracket, that's negative 18. So, 6 minus 18 is negative 12. Okay, next. 72. Which are the prime factors of 56? So, what we're looking for, ang prime factors ng 56. I think tapos na to kanina, naulit lang. The same ang sagot. Ang sagot ay letter A, 7, 2, 2, and 2. So, 7 times 2 times 2 times 2. Yun ang sagot natin. Okay, in order to verify the answer, we multiply 7, 2, 2, and 2. So, 7 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 56. Again, we did not choose your 14, 4, and 8 because they are composite numbers. They are not prime numbers. 73. The grades in mathematics of the students in section A are as follows. 80, 75, 60, 95, 100. So what is the population variance of their group? So before we answer this, let's talk about population variance first. Population variance, this is one of, in statistics, sa statistics ninyo, sa statistics, this is one of the measurements for spreadness of data. It measures gaano ba kalayo ang mga numbers or data from the mean. Gaano ba ka-spread out yung data? This is one way to represent the spreadness ng data. So, ano ba yung sagot natin? Let's show the answer first and then let's show the solution. Ang sagot ay letter, okay, letter D, 224, but we've written 206 here kasi this is the exact answer. It means na yung mga options natin, wala dito yung eksaktong sagot. The exact answer is 206. So, ang ginawa lang natin, we chose yung pinaka malapit, closest in terms of value, 224, letter D. So how did we come up with 224? So kapag ang tanong is about variance, standard deviation, yung mga measures of spreadness, most of the time, ang pinakamadaling ginagawa natin is gumagawa tayo ng table. We tabulate the data para mas mabilis na pag-solve. Kasi isosolve natin to ng mano-mano. So before we go to paano i-solve siya mano-mano, let's learn muna kung ano ba yung formula ng population variance. So, ano ba ang gagamitin na formula? Ang formula is summation. We read this letter is the Greek letter sigma. That means total of or summation of every number gikan sa sugod papunta sa pila ka number na listed sa problem. Summation ng mga data, summation of the square, kasi may 2 dito, summation of the square of the difference between each score na nasa data minus the mean ng mga data divided by the number of scores. So, basing from the formula, ang gagawin lang muna is kunin ang mean. So, for every type of statistical analysis, ang unang-unang gagawin ay kukunin ang mean or the average. So, kunin muna yung mean and then ima-minus natin yung mean sa bawat score. Ang sagot ng pagma-minus or the difference is square pa natin or ita times to themselves pa natin. Tapos, ito-total natin sila. And then, i-divide natin sila kung ilan sila lahat. So, para ma-achieve natin to, ang unang-unang gagawin natin, kunin natin ang mean. Itatabulate natin sila. Halimbawa, kung kukunin natin ang mean ng 5 data na to, 80, 75, 69, 100, paano ba kunin ang mean ulit? I-add sila. Just don't mind yung mga numbers muna. Dito lang muna, focus muna tayo sa score at mean. Paano ba na-arrive natin yung mean? I-add natin sila, then divided by 5. So, when we divided the sum by 5, ang sagot ay 82. So, ang mean pala ay 82. Sabi sa formula, ima-minus ang mean sa score. So, parang naging ganito, 80 minus 82. Ito na yun, 80 minus 82. Nasa third na column. Pero sabi sa formula, ang kanilang difference is square pa. So, kaya gumawa tayo ng isang column to represent yung process na difference, tapos squaring the difference. So, 80 minus 82, then yung difference is square. So, 80 minus 82 is negative 2, negative 2, di ba? So, i-square pa natin yun. So, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So, you should do that for every data, for every score natin dito. 75 minus 82, tapos raised to 2, 49. 60 minus 82, raised to 2, 484. 95, and so on. Until maabot ka sa last na number or score. Pagkatapos, sabi sa equation, or sabi sa formula, ito total daw natin yung square of the difference. So, sigma here, meaning total ng square of the difference. So, i-add natin yung 4, 49, 484, 169, 2T4. Ang sagot ay 1,030. So, 1,030 ang sagot sa numerator. Ito na yung numerator natin, 1,030. Tapos, sabi sa last process sa formula, and here, ito yung mga symbols na lang ginamit ko, pero actually, yung kanina, same lang to. And here, again, is the total number or the number of scores. Ilang scores ba lahat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, divided by 5, 1,030 divided by 5 is 206. Kaya ang answer is 206. So, paano natin ginawa ulit? Una, gumawa tayo ng table. Ang table na may 3 columns. Ang unang-unang gagawin is kunin ang mean or average, and then i-minus ang mean sa bawat score, and then i-square ang answer nila, then ito total ang lahat ng answers, and then i-divide kung ilang score ba lahat until you arrive sa tamang sagot. Number 74. Which among the measures of central tendency is not influenced by outliers? So, which among the four ang hindi basta-bastang na-influensyahan ng mga numbers na napakalayo sa grupo? Ang sagot ay, yes, correct. It's the median. Yung pinakagitnang number in a given element or set. So, median. So, you have that. So, it's the median. The median, according to statistics.ler.com, is less affected by outliers and skewed data than the mean. Among the three measurements or central tendency, di ba? Measurements for central tendencies, ang mean ang pinakamadaling naapektuhan ng mga outliers. And kapag ang situation is may mga outlier, tapos skewed masyado yung data, most of the time, ang better na magre-represent ng gitna. Kasi yung pag sinabing central tendency, gitna ang minimeasure natin. So, ang best na gagamitin to represent the middle o gitna is the median. It's the preferred measure of central tendency when the distribution is not symmetrical, may mga outliers, at saka napaka-skewed ng data. Okay? Number 75. The grades in mathematics adult students in section A are as follows: 80, 75, 60, 95, 100. So what's the population standard deviation of their group? If you recall, kanina sa population variance, the same lang ang mga data. You have 80, 75, 60, 95, and 100. Pero ang difference lang nito sa kanina na problem is we're looking for population standard deviation. So what is population standard deviation? The same lang sila ng function ng population variance. They measure the spreadness ng data. They measure kung gaano ba kalayo ang bawat element sa isang set from the mean. Gaano ba kalayo ang mga scores from the average. So, kasi ang population standard deviation actually is just the square root ng variance. Kanina, na-solve na natin yung variance kanina. Remember? 206 yun, if you can still recall. Di ba na-solve na natin yon? Ang gagawin na lang natin is square root siya because population standard deviation is just the square root ng variance. Sige daw, anong square root ng 206 kaya? Actually, wala dito yung exact na answer. So, we only have the closest. Kasi ang exact na answer is 14.35. Yung square root ng 206 kanina. So, ang pinakamalapit sa 14.35 is 14.97. Yung formula is the same formula sa population variance. Tapos, nilagyan lang natin ng square root. Now, paano ba mag-square root ng mga malalaking numbers o mga numbers na walang gamit, hindi ginagamit ng calculator? Paano ba mag-estimate? Actually, it's just an estimation lang to ha. It's not, it will not give the exact numbers for the decimal portion. But it's just an approximation. Paano ba mag-square root ng mga numbers na hindi ginagamit ang calculator? So, mayroon tayong formula actually. Wait lang. Before we go to that formula, let's just recall paano natin sinolve yung variance kanina. Yung variance kanina, gumawa tayo ng table, 3 columns. Kinuha muna natin ang mean, minus sa bawat score, pagkatapos i-square siya, and then tinotal natin, and then dinivide natin kung ilan sila lahat. Pagkatapos, the final step, kasi standard deviation ang hinahanap, square root natin siya. So, 14.35. Nung tanong, paano ba mag-square root ng isang number na walang calculator? So, kapag ang number hindi perfect square, kasi perfect square, alam naman natin, we don't really need calculators for perfect square. Sa mga hindi perfect square, for example, tulad ng 206, how do we know the root for 206? Ito yung formula for any number na hindi perfect square. This formula will give the approximate value for the root of any number. So, ang gagawin is a square root of a is equal to a plus b divided by 2 times square root of b. where B is a perfect square close to the number. So, wag mag-alala kasi, ang hahanapin natin is square root na isang number tapos sa formula may square root. Ano? Huwag mag-alala kasi yung square root dito ng B here is a perfect square. So again, you will not need calculators for perfect square. Ano ba yung perfect square? Ito yung mga number ito yung mga number na na-arrive natin, nakuha natin when we multiply a certain number to itself. Halimbawa ng perfect squares, 4. Kasi ang 4 is a product ng 2 times 2. 9. Kasi ang 9 is product ng 3 times 3. 16. Kasi ang 16 is product ng 4 times 4. So yung 4, 9, 16 are perfect squares. You won't need calculator to know them. Halimbawa, eto, 206 yung number, di ba? So, ang A dito is yung number na i-square root natin pero wala tayong calculator. Tapos, ang B is yung perfect square na pinakamalapit sa number na gusto mong malaman ang square root. So, halimbawa, 206. Ang pinakamalapit na perfect square sa 206 ay dalawa. Yung 196, which is product ng 14 times 14, at saka 225, which is product ng 15 times 15. So, either of the two, pwede kang mamili. Pero I recommend na ang pipiliin mo yung number na mas malaki kesa sa mas malaking konti, yung perfect square na above sa number na kukunan natin ng root or extrakan natin ng root. So, which is 225. So, pinili natin 225. So, plus 225 dito. Sa baba, 2 divided by 225. Alam naman natin, square root of 225 is 15, di ba? So, parang naging 206 plus 225 is 431. Divided by 2 times square root ng 225 is 15, di ba? 15. So, maging 431 divided by 30. Manumanuhin na natin pag-divide. Ang sagot is 14.36, which is close sa ating, ano ba yung exact sagot natin? 14.35 ang exact sagot natin, di ba? Pero ang ating estimated value using the formula is 14.36. So, konti lang ang difference. Maliit lang ang difference sa ating estimation at saka sa actual na sagot. So, again, ang formula natin kapag walang calculator is A, yung number na gusto mong i-square root pero hindi mo alam yung root kasi it's not a perfect square, plus B is a perfect square above, pinakamalapit pero I recommend, pwede rin below pero above. I recommend above the number na gusto mong i-square root divided by 2 times square root ng letter B na pinili mo. Okay. Number 76. In how many ways can 5 girls be seated in a row of 5 seats? Ilang paraan daw na pwede makalingkod ang 5 kababae sa 5 kalingkuranan? Ang sagot ay yes, letter D, 120. So there are 120 ways para makalingkod ang 5 babae sa 5 upuan. So paano natin arrive yun? So parang ganito. 5, we read this as 5 factorial. 5 factorial means 5 times the number, successive numbers, consecutive numbers na pababa from 5. So 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Bakit yung ganito yung itsura? Parang ganito. Una, imagine there are 5 seats. How many girls can sit sa 5 kalingkuran sa unang, halimbawa, may 5 upuan. Tapos, let's talk about the first seat. Ito yung first seat. Halimbawa, ito yung first seat. How many girls can sit on that first seat? Yung 5 babae, pila ba makalingkod ato? Sino-sino bang pwedeng makaupo? Silang lahat ba possible makaupo doon, di ba? Pero dili dungan ha, meaning, halimbawa, girl A can sit there, girl B can also sit there, C, D, E. Pwede bisag kinsa silang 5. So there are 5 ways na makalingkod ang 5 kababae. Or 5 ka-girls makalingkod ato. 5 ways nga. So what if nilingkod na ang isa ka babae? So nabawasan ng isa ang 5 kaupuan, nabawasan na rin ng isang babae ang 4 na babae, ang 5 babae, so naging 4 na lang. So for the second seat, sa ikalawang upuan, pila ka babae ang possible na makalingkod. Di ba? Apat. Kasi nabawasan na nga ng isa kasi nakaupo na siya sa first seat ng isang babae. So there are 4 available girls na makalingkod sa second seat. What if nilingkod na siya, gilingkuran na niya? So 3 upuan na lang nabilin. Tapos 3 babae na lang yung naiwan. Sa third seat, how many girls can possibly sit sa third seat? Diba, 3? Kasi nakaupo na yung dalawa sa first and second seat. So there are 3 girls available para makalingkod sa third seat. Now what if nilingkod na yung isa? So 2 upuan na lang, 2 babae na lang din. So sa fourth seat, pila ka babae ang possible na makalingkod? Since 2 na lang naiwan, so there are 2 girls, remaining girls. What if umupo na yung isa? So isang upuan na lang naiwan, na bakante, tapos isang babae na lang din na nakatayo, naiwan. So how many girls can sit on that last chair? Isang babae na lang. So kaya ganito ang expression natin. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Ang shortcut ng multiplication na expression na to sa mathematics is 5 exclamation point. We read this as factorial. So 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. We usually use factorial for ways, no? Yung combination of ways. It's a kind of probability na ang arrangement doesn't matter. So 5 factorial. So we have 120. Okay, so 120 is the answer. #77. If a die is rolled, what is the probability of getting a number divisible by 2? So kapag ni-roll daw yung die, you know a die? You know yung itsura ng die? Die is yung cube, di ba? Tapos, para ginagamit natin yung sa larong, ano ba yun, snake and ladders, at iba pa. Tapos may may dots from 1 to 6. Di ba? So, kapag rinol daw natin ng die, ano daw yung chance? Kasi probability means chance. What's the chance of getting a number that can be divided by 2? So, the answer is letter C, 1 over 2 or 1/2 chance. So, this is a die, di ba? Ang plural ng die is dice. So, there is 1 out of 2 chances that when you roll a die, you can get a number that can be divided by 2. So, what are the numbers that can be divided by 2 in a die? So, ano yun? Diba 2, 4, and 6. So, there are 3 numbers that can be divided by 2. So, that's 3 out of, ilan ba yung lahat ng numbers? Diba 6? So, 3 out of 6 numbers. So, 3 out of 6 numbers, simplify that 3 over 6 is 1/2. So, kapag probability yung tanong, just remember that probability is a fraction. Fraction siya, kapag simple probability lang ha, fraction siya, na ang numerator is the event that you want to get or to know. Yung event na gusto mong mangyari. And what is that event in this number? Yung event na makakuha ka ng number divisible by 2. So, how many events is that? There are 3 events, di ba? Yung event na yung rolyo ng die is 2, yung rolyo ng die is 4, at saka yung rolyo ng die is 6. So, 3 digits yun, 3 numbers na pwedeng possible sa die na can be divided by 2. So, there are 3 events. So, 3 ang nasa numerator. And then sa denominator is the total number of possible events. There are 6 possible events, di ba? Because there are 6 faces or sides or yung itsura or surfaces ng die. So that's 3 out of 6. Or in lowest terms, or in pag isa-simplify, 3 out of 6 is 1 over 2 or 1/2. So ibig sabihin nito, sa dalawang rolyo ng die, in 2 rolls of dice, the die, you can get one number that can be divided by 2. Number 78. Which of the following is a product of 13 and an integer? So, alin daw sa 4 na choices na to ang produkto ng 13 at saka isang number? So, paano ba malaman na ang isang number is product, ang isang option, sa mga options na to na produkto siya ng 13 at saka isang number? Well, ang gagawin lang natin is i-divide natin sila, ang mga options divided by 13. Kung alin man sa apat na to ang may sagot na whole number, meaning walang point, siya ang sagot, siya ang answer. So in short, ang hahanapin lang natin dito is divisible by 13. Yun ang hahanapin natin. Sa apat na to, alin dito ang divisible by 13? So ang sagot ay letter A, 1,326. Kasi pag dinivide natin sa 13 ng 1,326, we'll get 102. So yun, di ba? 102 ang sagot. Yung iba, may point na yan kapag dinivide sa 30. Number 79. In an English test, 8 students obtained the following scores: 12, 10, 13, 11, 15, 20, 19, 17. What's the median score? So sa English na test daw, ito yung mga scores ng 8 students. So we have 12, 10, 13, 11, 15, 20, 19, 17. Ang hinahanap lang is ang gitnang value, median. So, what's the answer? Before we reveal paano siya sagutan? The answer is yes, 14. Letter B. Paano natin nakuha yung 14? Paano natin kunin ang median? Generally, kapag ungroup yung data katulad ng nasa problem natin, all we have to do is list down all the data, the scores, following the pattern na from smallest to biggest or ascending order. So, galing sa pinakamaliit na number papunta sa pinakamalaki. So, kapag in-arrange natin yan, from smallest to biggest, we have 10, ganito lahat. And then, madali lang kunin ng median kapag maliit lang ang numbers kasi we don't need to follow a formula kapag magmaihap lang siya. Halimbawa, eto, 8 lang man to, madali lang kunin ng median. Ang median is ang pinakagitnang number sa 8 scores. Since 8 is an even number, lahat ng even number walang gitna. But there are two middlemost values. Katulad ng sa 8, the fourth and the fifth value, ang fourth value is 13, the fifth value is 15, are the two middlemost value. So, the answer ay, paano kunin ang answer? Para makuha ang median score, we need to divide 13, the sum of 13 and 15. In short, we get the average of 13 and 15. Kunin ang average ng dalawang middlemost value. So 13 plus 15 divided by 2 is equal to 14. That's why we answered 14. Gagawin nyo lang to, magdi-divide mag-a-add tapos divide by 2 kung walang gitna, meaning even ang number of scores, katulad ng 8. Kung 9, then may gitna, yung lahat ng odd numbers naman is may gitnang bahagi. Kasi na bungkig or bungkag. Number 80. A rectangular block of steel has dimensions of 5 by 10 by 15 meters and weighs 1,000 newtons. How should this block be placed on a surface to exert the least pressure in the surface? Now, ang hinahanap sa tanong na to is pressure. So, meron daw isang rectangular block na may dimension na, ibig sabihin ng may dimension, merong kapag rectangle or rectangular block or cuboid na tinatawag, we have length, width, and height, di ba? So, meron daw 5, 10, and 15 na mga dimensions ang rectangular block na to. So, paano ba natin daw siya i-place or i-plastar sa isang surface para yung block na yun mag-exert ng pinakamaliit na pressure? Sa anong side? So, ang sagot ay, let's reveal the answer first. The correct answer is letter A, on the 10 meters by 15 meters side. So, if ganito yung itsura ng rectangular block, di ba, meron tayong pwede nato siya ipatindog, ipatagilid, o ipahayang, ano ba mga posisyon. So, yun ang hinahanap natin. So, yung position na 10 meters by 15 meters side ang dapat ang nakadikit sa surface. Now, paano ba natin na-decide o naka-come up ang 10 by 15 meters na surface? Well, kinuha natin ang pressure. Sinolve natin ang pressure for letter A, B, and C. Letter D is obviously wrong kasi hindi naman equal ang pressure sa lahat ng side kasi magkakaiba-iba ng dimensions. So, paano ba isolve ang pressure gamit ang mga given na to? First, you should know the formula for pressure. Di ba ang pressure is force divided by area. Force divided by area. Nung tanong, may force ba sa problem? Yes, meron. Saan? Etong 1,000 newtons. Kapag may apelido na newtons or units, then that's the value for pressure. Now, next question is, may area ba? Yes, meron. Saan? Sa mga sa mga options. Ibang ang area is, especially rectangle, area ng rectangle is simply length times width or product ng dalawang sides. So, length times width, 10 times 15, 5 times 15, 5 times 10. So, ang gagawin lang pala natin dito is, i-multiply lang ang mga options, yung mga numbers options, divided by 1,000. Alin man sa tatlong to ang may pinakamaliit na value, siya na ang least, kasi least ang hinahanap natin. So, gawin natin yan. Halimbawa, ang formula natin is P, pressure, is equal to force divided by area. So, sa letter A, kung ang force divided by area. Kung sa letter A, 1,000 divided by, 1,000 is yung force natin ha, 1,000 newtons, eto. 1,000 newtons divided by yung 10 by meters, 10 by 15 side. So 10 times 15, ang sagot is 6.67 Pascal. Pascal is the unit for pressure. For letter B, 13.33 Pascal. For letter C, 20 Pascal. So obviously, ang pinakamaliit is yung letter A, 6.67 Pascal. Okay. 81. If a student has an average of 76% on his first two tests and has an average of 85% on his next four tests, what is his final average on all 6 tests? So, ang student daw ay may 6 na test lahat-lahat kasi 2 at saka 4, di ba? Sa unang dalawang test, 76 ang kanyang average. Sa last 4 tests, 85. Na kapag pinagsama ang 6 na test lahat-lahat, ano ang final average? So, let's reveal the answer muna. Ang sagot ay letter D, 82.0%. So, paano natin na-arrive o na-come up ang 82%? So, ganito lang gagawin kapag nakakita kayo ng problem na pinaghiwalay ang mga averages and then ang ina-ask is yung total, yung final ng pinaghiwalay na averages, gagawin lang natin is i-multiply lang natin ang average sa number of tests. Halimbawa, 76, i-multiply lang natin sa number of tests to which it corresponds. So, halimbawa, 76 times 2. Sa 85, 4. So, 85 times 4. And then, we will add them all, then divided by kung ilan sila lahat, just like what we do when we try to get the average or when we get the average. So, paano ba yun ulit? So, 76%, para sa 76%, dalawang exam yun, 76 times 2 is 152. So, yung 152, this represents the total raw score sa dalawang tests. So, ibig sabihin, nung pinagsama daw natin yung score sa 2 tests, 52 ang raw score. This is not the percentage, raw score. Kasi ang percentage ng dalawa is 76. For the 4 test, for 85% yung 4 na test, diba? 85 times 4. So, that's 340. So, paano kunin ang average ng dalawang scores na to? So, i-add lang natin sila. 152 plus 340 divided by ilang test ba lahat-lahat? Di ba? 6 na test kasi 2 plus 4 test. So, divided by 6 equals 82. So, that's how we get 82. Number 82. What percent of 75 is 15? So, kanina, parang same lang ang problem kanina yung part of a whole. So, anong part si 15 ng 75? So, kapag ganito yung tanong lang, we simply divide 15 and 75 and convert it to percentage. So, ang sagot ay letter A, 20%. So, ang ginawa lang natin, dinivide lang natin si 15 by 75. So, 15 divided by 75 times 100% is 20%. Kasi kapag hindi mo minultiply ng 100%, point lang yun, 0.20. 83. The grades in mathematics of the students in section A are as follows. 80, 75, 60, 95, 100. What is the mean absolute deviation of this group? So kung kanina, na-solve na natin yung standard deviation, variance na rin. Ngayon, ang hinahanap is mean absolute deviation. Kung napansin nyo, kung kanina, kung na-list down ninyo yung data natin, same lang talaga yung data natin. 80, 75, 69, 100. Ang problem kanina sa variance, sa standard deviation, same lang din dito. Pero ang hinahanap ang magkaiba kasi ang hinahanap ngayon is mean absolute deviation. Now, para saan bang mean absolute deviation? Katulad ng kanina, yung dalawang naunang statistical analysis natin, parehas din siya ng purpose to measure the spreadness ng data. Gaano ba kalayo ang mga scores from the mean or from the average? So first, let's reveal the answer before we show the solution. Ano ba yung tamang sagot? Letter? So wala dito yung tamang sagot kaya nilagyan natin ng exact answer. Yung exact answer is 12.4. The nearest or closest to 12.4 in terms of value is 11.7. So that's why letter D ang sagot, 11.7. Now, how did we come up with 12.4? So let's learn the formula first. Ano bang formula ng mean absolute deviation? Katulad ng formula kanina sa standard deviation at saka variance, same lang din. Summation ng absolute value of the difference between the score and the mean divided by number of scores. Ibig sabihin nito, ima-minus muna, kukunin mo ng mean. Remember, kunin mo ng mean sa lahat ng mga statistical treatments. Kunin mo ng mean, tapos ima-minus ang mean sa bawat score. And then, may absolute value na sign. Ibig sabihin ng absolute value na sign, walang negative na answer. Always positive yan lahat. Then, ito total natin because we have the summation sign here. Then, divided by kung ilan sila. Ilang score lahat-lahat. Okay. Now, ang unang gagawin is get the mean. Just like what we've done kanina, gawa din tayo ng tatlong columns or isang table. So, katulad kasi kanina, same lang kasi ng data kanina, 82 pa rin yung mean, di ba? So, ang gagawin natin, i-minus natin yung mean sa score. So, 80 minus 82, di ba? Supposedly, negative ang sagot. Pero since may absolute value na sign, lahat ng sagot natin should be positive. So, lahat ng mga answers dito sa differences, positive din lahat. Then, yung summation na symbol, meaning ito total lahat ng difference. So, 62 ang answer kung i-add natin si 2, 7, 22, 13, 18. Then, ang last na step is i-divide kung ilang score lahat. Di ba? 5 scores lahat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scores. So, 62 divided by 5 is 12.4. So, ang sagot is 12.4. Next, 84. A ball is drawn at random from a box containing 6 red balls, 4 white balls, and 5 blue balls. Find the probability that it is blue. So, ang ball daw, may tatlong kulay ng mga bola. Pula, puti, at saka blue. Now, pag magkuha ka ng bola, pag bubunot ka raw ng bola, ano daw yung chance na makakuha ka ng blue na bola? So, anong sagot? What's the answer? Let's reveal the answer first. What's the chance? The probability that you can get a blue ball is 1 out of 3. So, paano nakuha ang 1 out of 3? So, di ba, remember, ang simple probability is just a fraction. Ang numerator natin is yung number or yung event na gusto nating mangyari at saka yung denominator is total number of events. So, ang gusto nating mangyari is makakuha ng blue ball. Ilang blue ball ba lahat? Di ba? 5? There are 5 blue balls. So, yung numerator natin, 5 events o 5 blue balls yun. Yung denominator natin, ilan ba lahat ng bola? So, we add all the balls. 6 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. So 5 out of 15 yun. Pero pwede pang masimplify ang 5 out of 15. Paano? We divide both numerator and denominator by 5, di ba? 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 by 5 is 3. So, 1 out of 3 chances. Ibig sabihin nito, sa katulong ni mga pagbunot, there is isang bola na makukuha ka na kulay blue. So, there is 1 out of 3 chances na blue ang mabubunot mo na bola. Number 85. The altitude of a triangle is 5 meters and the base is 20 meters. What's the area of the triangle? So, isa sa mga pwede ninyong ma-encounter sa Gen Ed Math, ay ang mga areas ng mga polygons, an even area ng square, ng circle. Circle at saka mga polygons. So I want you to memorize, familiarize lahat ng mga formulas sa area ng circle at saka mga polygons. Halimbawa, triangle. So let's reveal the answer muna before natin ipakita ang solution. Ano ba yung sagot natin dito kapag ganito yung given? Answer ay letter A, 50 square meters. So how did we come up with 50 square meters? The formula for the area ng triangle ay 1/2 times base times height, or base times height divided by 2. Now, from the problem, sabi dito, 20 ang base. So, substitute lang 20. Yung height, walang word na height dito, pero may word na altitude. Same lang ang height at saka altitude. So, 20 times 5, that's 100. Divided by 2, or kalahati ng 100, ay 50. That's why we get 50 square meters. 86.